Hi everybody, I am going to teach you something possibly new to you today. Most of the time when we in the West especially think about yoga, we think about rolling out a mat and doing physical exercise, and that is a large piece of it. But another piece of that puzzle is pranayama, and I don't know if you can see that, but I know that's probably a new word to you, pranayama. It means breathing exercises. And these are really beneficial, I think, especially in a time like this. We don't have to think about breathing. We don't have to think about each breath. Thank God. Can you imagine? So you may not have thought about the last time you took a full breath. And a lot of times, especially if we're anxious and stressed out and worried, our breath becomes a little bit shallow. And it can be a vicious cycle. If our breathing is shallow, then our brain is triggered into kind of a fight or flight response. And the more our brain is triggered and releases those chemicals, it just kind of cycles this way. And if we can stop and slow down and take really deep breaths, it helps to calm our mind and our body. And there's lots of other benefits as well. So I thought I would teach you one of these breathing exercises. It's called Nadi Shodhana, and that means alternate nostril breathing. So for this breathing exercise, you'll actually be touching your nose. So I'm going to give you a moment right now before I teach you how to do it to go wash your hands, because we've all heard over and over how important it is not to touch our face, and I'm about to tell you to touch your face. So I'm going to give you a second to get up and go to your sink and turn on the water and get lots of soap. And of course, we're going to wash the palms and the backs and thumbs and in between fingers and fingertips and nails, and do it twice. I'd be telling Emma, who are you going to sing happy birthday to? Do it again. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear everybody. Happy birthday to you. So hopefully that was enough time for you to wash your hands. And I will also say that this is going to be some good fine motor skills with this hand position I'm about to teach you. I know some of you have quite a bit of arthritis in your hands, and if that's the case, don't worry about the hand part. You can rest your hands in your lap and just take some deep breaths along with me, and it will be just as beneficial. Nadi Shodhana, this alternate nostril breathing, and any pranayama is really good for infusing the body with oxygen, which is good for us, obviously. And I have props today, see? It helps to reduce stress and anxiety. That's a good thing right now and anytime. Fosters mental clarity and an alert mind. So a lot of times I like to do a breathing exercise before I spend time in scripture or prayer or do a devotional. And I actually have a devotional that we'll end with today. And let's see if I had any other benefits listed here for you to see. Yes, very important right now, supports clear and balanced respiratory channels. So we know this virus is a respiratory virus, so we want to keep our lungs healthy and breathing really well for us. All right, so I think you've had plenty of time to wash your hands now. Normally I would be, if you're used to me in classes, when I'm saying what side to use, I'm mirroring you. But with this, I can't mirror this very well. So do as I say, I'm gonna be not reflecting you. So take your right hand, and if you can, and I have to use my other hand to help me, hold your index finger and your middle finger, and we're just gonna pull those down. Okay, so you have your thumb, and then over here, your ring finger and your pinky. Now again, if this is too hard for your hand, don't worry about this part. Just rest your hands in your lap and take deep breaths. All right, if you have your hand here, index finger, ring finger down, first we're gonna take a big deep breath in through your nose, both nostrils, and exhale through your mouth. All right, and you can go ahead and close your eyes once you've watched me a little bit to figure this out, and I just kind of broke our rhythm. So let's do this again. Big deep breath in through both nostrils, And then you're going to exhale out your nostrils. Okay, inhale through both nostrils. Now close off the right nostril gently with your thumb. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close off the left with your ring finger. Exhale through your right. Inhale through the right. Close it off. Exhale left. Inhale through the left. Close it off. Exhale right. Inhale through the right. Close it off. Exhale left. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes. I'll continue to talk you through it. So we're going to inhale left. Close it off. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close it off. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close it off. Exhale right. Inhale. Close it off. Exhale. Inhale. Close it off. Exhale. And let your hand rest on your lap. And just take a couple more big, deep breaths all the way in, filling your lungs. Pause and let it all out. One more deep breath. And open your eyes. That wasn't even very long. I know I feel calmer. I hope you do too. And I just have a little devotional for us to end with. Like I said, I like to do some breathing exercises before I pray or do a devotional just to help me calm my mind from everything that's going on around me. So this one is by Jim Liebelt, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, and it's called Who Packs Your Parachute? And I thought it was very apropos with all that's going on. So he starts with 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 20 through 22. Yes, there are many parts, but only one body. The eye can never say to the hand, I don't need you. The head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. In fact, some of the parts that seem weakest and least important are really the most necessary. And then his devotional goes on. I've read the story about Charles Plumb, a U.S. Naval Academy graduate who was a jet fighter pilot in Vietnam. After 75 combat missions, his plane was destroyed by a surface-to-air missile. Plumb ejected and parachuted into enemy hands. He was captured and spent 6 years in a communist prison. He survived that ordeal and now lectures about lessons learned from that experience. One day, when Plumb and his wife were sitting in a restaurant, a man from another table came up and said, You're Plumb. You flew jet fighters in Vietnam from the aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk. You were shot down. How in the world do you know that? Asked Plumb. I packed your parachute, the man replied. Plumb gasped in surprise and gratitude. The man pumped his hand and said, I guess it worked. Plumb assured him, it sure did. If your chute hadn't worked, I wouldn't be here today. Plumb couldn't sleep that night thinking about that man. Plumb said, I kept wondering what he might have looked like in a Navy uniform. A Dixie cup hat, a bib in the back, and bell-bottom trousers. I wondered how many times I might have passed him on the Kitty Hawk. I wondered how many times I might have seen him and not even said good morning, how are you, or anything, because, you see, I was a fighter pilot and he was just a sailor. Plumb thought of the many hours the sailor had spent on a long wooden table in the bowels of the ship, carefully weaving the shrouds and folding the silks of each chute, holding in his hands each time the fate of someone he didn't know. Now Plumb asks his audience, who's packing your parachute? I love this. And I think sometimes right now, I know all of you are sometimes just really feeling the walls closing in And I just want to encourage you to remember how many people are packing your parachute. And when you're feeling that way, maybe stop and say a prayer of thanks for, William or Sherry or Charlene for bringing you smiles and your food. Or I saw Chris wiping down the railings just now to make sure they're disinfected. Or, Ruby or Deborah, Amy, all these people that are doing small things to pack our parachutes right now so that we can get through this together. Thanks, everybody.